Greg Norman shares new thoughts on the PGA LIV merger. What happens when golf's biggest names collide? Prepare to be amazed as we dive into the intriguing world of the PGA Tour and LIV Golf merger. The golfing community was left astounded when the rival leagues decided to join forces, and today we have a special treat for you. The legendary Greg Norman himself is here to share his new thoughts on this groundbreaking alliance. From surprising player defections to heated rivalries, we'll uncover the inside scoop of the PGA Tour and LIV Golf merger like never before. Get ready to explore the fascinating insights with Greg Norman in this exclusive video. Some PGA Tour players voiced their discontent, with Wesley Bryan even expressing feeling betrayed by the merger. However, there were others who saw the merger as a positive step toward unity in the golf world. Many believed bringing the leagues together would benefit players and fans. Greg Norman, the CEO of LIV Golf, shared his excitement on social media. "A great day in global golf for players and fans alike. The journey continues," Norman tweeted. Greg Norman has been a prominent figure in the golfing world, both as CEO of LIV Golf and for his illustrious playing career on the PGA Tour. He is widely recognized for his victories in the Open Championships in 1986 and 1993, among his 20 total wins throughout his successful golfing journey. However, Norman's role within the merged league may undergo significant changes. Criticism has been directed towards his tenure as CEO of LIV Golf, and recent reports suggest that he has been more of a figurehead in his duties. It is anticipated that he will continue in a different capacity following the merger.
Native son returning home to Australia. What does this mean to you, and what does this mean to LIV to be here in Australia and have this incredible reception?
Well, it's actually multiple fronts, to be honest with you. From a player being 45 years of supporting the game of golf down under, to being involved with business, understanding what the brand is, but actually being an Australian. My responsibility when I was asked to be the CEO and the commissioner of the LIV Golf League was to eventually, as soon as I possibly could, bring an event to Australia. And we are here. We've embraced this area. I said to the Premier when we first came down here, before our first press conference, we are here for the long term. We want to create an economic impact to this region that's never been done before through the game of golf, and I think we're delivering on that now. To see how this area has embraced us, not only just from Adelaide's standpoint, which I think is the biggest, smallest city in the world, which is now the focal point of global golf. The Premier mentioned South Australia, but we really are, this next 72 hours, we are the focal point. And the next 72 hours, you will see the true LIV product.
Norman, who lives in Palm Beach Gardens, was behind the creation of LIV Golf. The league, financed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, has come under fire for what detractors say is a form of sports washing, with Saudi Arabia attempting to distract from its atrocious human rights violations. From the start, Norman was seeking collaboration from the PGA Tour and told the Palm Beach Post last year he believed a LIV PGA Tour merger was in the future. "100% I do," Norman said when he asked if he believed that the two tours could come together. Jay Monahan, "If he had the decency to take our meetings right from the get-go, none of this would be in place today. The game of golf would be in a much better place, the tour would be in a much better place, and European golf would be in a much better place." PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan will oversee both the PGA Tour and LIV Golf once this agreement is finalized, according to a Sports Illustrated report. This development means that Monahan can disband LIV if he wants to, and also approve the reinstatement of former PGA Tour professionals if he so desires. It's hard to imagine Monahan having a place for Norman, considering the public distaste the latter has expressed for the PGA Tour over the years. The report also notes that the only promise made between PGA Tour and PIF officials is a right to refusal, meaning many unknowns still exist. This detailed report comes almost 2 days after Norman hopped on a 30-minute call with LIV Golf staffers to discuss its future. "LIV is and will continue to be a standalone enterprise," Norman said on the call. "Our business model will not change. We change history, and we're not going anywhere." But when news of the long-awaited merger broke, something unexpected happened. Norman was nowhere to be found in the negotiations and subsequent announcement. it left fans bewildered and questions began to arise. How could such a prominent figure be left out of this pivotal moment? The revelation that Al Rumahin had called Norman just minutes before the announcement added another layer of intrigue to the story. Fans and industry insiders were left wondering what led to Norman's exclusion. Was it a deliberate snub? Or was there a larger agenda at play? Understandably, Norman's discontent was palpable. As players learned about the merger through social media, reports suggest that outrage simmered within their ranks. After all, Norman had been a driving force within the LIV circuit, and to be sidelined during this historic merger raised questions of betrayal. Norman had been an advocate for peace and coexistence between the leagues, with his ultimate goal being to find common ground for the greater good of the sport. But sadly, his aspirations were overshadowed by the unfolding scandal. One can't help but question the motives behind his exclusion. Despite his diminished influence, Norman publicly expressed his excitement about the merger, emphasizing that his journey continues, but there's more to his story than meets the eye. Enter Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, two iconic PGA players who openly called for Norman's removal as LIV Golf's chief executive officer.
There's no willingness to negotiate if you have a litigation against you. So if they both have a stay and then have a break and then they can meet and figure something out, then maybe there is something to be had. But I think Greg has to go, first of all, and then obviously the litigation against us and then our countersue against...
To just exit stage left, and he's made his mark, but I think now's the right time to sort of say, look, you've got this thing off the ground, but no one's going to talk unless.
Their motives and influence in this situation raise intriguing questions. Did Woods and McIlroy play a role in Norman's exclusion? And if so, what could their plan be? To fully understand this betrayal, we must look at the long-standing discord between Norman and the PGA Tour. Nearly 3 decades ago, Norman attempted to establish a breakaway tour, a move that didn't sit well with Commissioner Tim Fincham. Could this history of conflicts have played a part in Norman's exclusion? As the golfing world continues to evolve, only time will reveal the true implications of this scandal and what lies ahead for Greg Norman and the sport he holds dear. One thing is certain, this merger has shaken the foundations of golf, and the exclusion of such a prominent figure raises questions that demand answers. As we conclude this insightful journey into the PGA Tour and LIV Golf merger, we invite you to be part of the conversation. What are your thoughts on this game-changing alliance? Share your opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more exciting golf content, and stay tuned as we bring you the latest updates of the future of the sport. The world of golf is evolving, and we're thrilled to have you join us in this exhilarating journey. Together, let's shape the future of the game that we love.